sometimes it seems to me that the overwhelming driving force of thought in America is, let's just drive this thing until the wheels fall off. No need for maintenance, no need to try to take care of it or anything like that. The dealer's warranty's out. And as soon as this thing we share called a country crumbles into the dust, well, we'll just get a new one. No problem. Our credit's good, right? Right? You and I understand that, as with most things in life, there is a time and a place for violence. There is a certain subset of possible scenarios throughout the course of one's day wherein it might be necessary and even good to commit violence on another human being. And we also know that the overwhelming majority of the time, violence is not only isn't a good solution to a situation, it is in fact the worst solution. And I want to highlight an instance of that for you right now, to highlight the contrast. Let's take a little journey of the mind to Mankato, Minnesota, where a couple of weeks ago a woman was stabbed and beaten nearly to death for, get this now, wearing an American flag T-shirt. Now let's take a second right there for some inner thought, contemplation. I don't know about you, but I would never think about bringing a knife to a fight with a person wearing an American flag T-shirt. Why? Because that's a person who's quite likely probably packing a fair bit of heat beneath that shirt. Logic, people. But apparently this guy got lucky because he was the only one dishing out any pain that particular day. Now, this particular example of freshly lain and fragrant dog shit is a young man saddled with the almost appropriate name of Paul Peter Jal. That's J-A-L, one letter away from jail. And this coward, who has no problem beating and stabbing an innocent woman who literally did not know him and did nothing to him, this guy has been in and near jail a lot, yet strangely keeps getting put back out on the streets. Weird, huh? Now, I want you to understand something. This woman was beaten so badly, when the police found her, they couldn't even see her eyes. He tore a towel rack out of a wall and stabbed her with it. That's even dumber than a knife, honestly. They found not one, but a couple of broken phones near her because she had tried to call the police more than once with her phone and somebody else's, and he kept breaking them. So you get the picture? This is a human being who's acting like an animal. And apparently the law hasn't found it necessary at this point to either exterminate or permanently lock up the animal. It isn't as if this is a one-off. This guy's been committing all sorts of violent crimes since at least 2019, has been in police chases, plural chases, and endangered a ton of lives in the process. And now, maybe he'll face some justice for what he's been doing. Maybe. Folks, I tell you all this, as I said, to contrast not only against the nature of those who must do violence in the service of justice and freedom, but also to contrast against the nature of those of us who simply want to live in a free and law-abiding society. This is the kind of thing that we simply cannot allow to go on. I want you to imagine for a minute that this unnamed victim was your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter. Okay, depending on the day, maybe don't think of the wife, right? Just leave that one out. But seriously, put yourself in the position of having to face the fact that for no good reason, someone did this kind of thing to someone you love and care about. America goes through phases, both nationally and on a state-by-state basis, where we are tougher or easier on crime. Right now, and for the past couple of years, ever since the beginning of the pandemic, it seems like dealing with violent crime has become a bit of a back burner issue. After all, we've got to be focusing on Drag Queen Story Hour. Plus, you have nonprofit organizations bailing out people like this dude all the time. It's a dangerous, largely unexamined precedent, and in the current atmosphere, it's leading to unnecessary pain and suffering. Paul Peter Jal either needs to find himself in a cage for the rest of his life or at the short end of a rope. And I hate to end this on a cliche, but rope is awfully cheap. You know, we live in, as I said earlier, we live where you have moral relativity. You know, there's no one to build morals into young people anymore. By and large, our culture has gotten fatherless, increasingly fatherless. There has been an attack on the nuclear family. The home has been destroyed. Your truth has replaced objective truth. There's no standard for right and wrong. People talk about evil. They don't even know what evil is because they have no standard for good.